Hey everyone, it's Mallard, and I'm back with another model railroading video. It has been ages since I've done one, but nonetheless, here we are. And I am bringing you a review of Broadway Limited's new USRA Heavy Pacifics, fitted with Paragon 3 sound. These things were recently released, and I had this thing on back order for a while at trainworld.com. Link will be a description to Trainworld. And I had this thing on back order for a while, and it just arrived yesterday. So I'm just getting to unboxing it today, and got to run it a little bit, and now I'm bringing it forth to you guys. This way, first of all, there's an actual review of this model on YouTube, and also just so you guys can see what you get in the box with this thing. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so as you saw earlier, I already had the locomotive out of the box. But here's the box nonetheless. I still have it right here. And I'm going to show you what you get in the box, even though, if I just swivel all the way over here, there's locomotive right there. Nonetheless, I'm going to show you what you get in the box with this thing. So I'm going to try to do this one-handed. There we go. So when you open the box, you're greeted with Broadway Limited's one-year warranty on these locomotives. And then we also are greeted with a little warning sheet on how to unbox these locomotives and how you're supposed to take them out. There's a certain way you're supposed to do it because of the way this was done. So do take note of that, just so that way when you're pulling the locomotive out of the box, you don't damage it by accident. No one wants to damage a brand new locomotive. So here, as you can see, we have exploded parts diagram, if I can unfold it. There we go. So this side has the tender on it. This is the exploded parts diagram for the tender. If I flip it over, here is the diagram section for the actual locomotive part of it. Alright. Moving along. We're also greeted with the Paragon 3 Operator's Manual. I'm not going to go through this because this is literally included with every Broadway Limited Paragon 3 model. If you don't want to actually look through the manual yourself, there is a PDF on Broadway Limited's website and whatnot. And then under the foam, as you can probably guess, there's a block of ice in there. So, it's just where the locomotive was, so I'm not really going to pull that out. Nonetheless, that was just a little overview of what comes in the box. And now, let's move on to the actual locomotive. So back over here with the locomotive, you can instantly see right off the bat a lot of the separately applied details and the actual class-specific details. Now, as you can tell, since this is the Blue Comet locomotive, you can see it has the Alesco feed water heater. Excuse my fat fingers, because I don't have a pointer to be pointing at this thing with, but yep, so you're going to have to deal with that. But yeah, you can see it has the Alesco feed water heater, as was standard with the Blue Comet. 1920s style marker lights. I'm not too sure if that was correct for the Blue Comet. I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but no, well. Broadway Limited wasn't trying to actually, mass produce the G3S specifically. This was just part of a genericized line of USRA Heavy Pacifics. So, you get what you pay for, because this thing's rather cheap for a Broadway Limited model. As you can see here, KD coupler on the front. Very nice separately applied details, swiveling coupler cut bar on the pilot and on the tender. Up here on the locomotive, there's a somewhat free swinging brass construction bell. Also got a little brass chime whistle right there, and pop-offs as well in the back there. Now, if we just look dead on at the front of the locomotive, you can see in very clean print the Blue Comet within the prototypical font and everything. Same with the road number on the front of the headlight there. And if I turn it to the side, you can see same thing on the actual sides of the headlight. Now, a thing to point out, I'm pretty sure the whole headlight cast was not actually like a chromish silver like this. That's just the way Broadway Limited decided to do it. The real locomotive, if my memory serves me right, actually had a blue jacket around the headlight rather than a full silver because it had the silver ring on the front of the headlight and whatnot. But, no, well, again, I'm not going to nitpick too heavily on this because, well, this was supposed to be a genericized line and nothing crazy. So now we move on more to the side of the locomotive, and you can see this is very well done. The paint is well done. The colors are prototypical. The gold lining on the drivers were very well done. One thing I will point out, again, I know I keep pointing out these certain things, even though, again, this is a genericized line. This locomotive is fitted with Baker valve gear. The real G3S series of locomotives, or P47, whatever way you want to call the classification, is the same locomotive. But the real thing actually was not fitted with Baker. The real thing was fitted with wall shirts. But as I said, like probably 50 times already, this is a genericized line, so I really shouldn't be nitpicking too much on that. Moving along, you see the nicely detailed firebox. You can see all the rivets and whatnot. You can see crew figure in the cab there. Very nice touch as always by Broadway Limited. Nice separately applied air pump. And you can see, one thing to point out is the body construction of this whole locomotive is ABS. It's not a die-cast. It's nothing crazy, and that's because this is one of their lower-end locomotives, but it still is nice because it's still fitted with Paragon 3. Can't go wrong with that. Moving along to the tender of the locomotive, you can see the crisp New Jersey Central logo. Hope if it can go in focus. There we go. You can see the very crisp New Jersey Central logo on the tender there, just as it was on the real G3S. Once again, correct gold lining and everything. The real G3S, though, it had like a curved coal bunker on the top of it, but again, genericized line, not a big deal. Take a closer look at the cab here. See, very cleanly done, and actually in the correct font as well, with the road number 832 on there. So that was very well done by Broadway Limited. And if we just kind of scoot it along lightly and come around to the back of the tender, you can see same thing as the front. Metal or die-cast, I don't know about die-cast, but metal Katy coupler, swivel and coupler cut bar. And just as on the cab side, very crisp 832 on the back of the tender there. Now moving on to the top here. Just standard USRA features. I'm pretty sure the G3S was actually originally a USRA Pacific as it stands, so it's nothing crazy. Now we hold a bit of a top view of the locomotive here. You can see all the boiler top details are a lot clearer now. See the dynamo behind the Alesco. I'm not exactly sure if that was correct, but again, not gonna nitpick too much on this thing. You can see the sand dome and whatnot. It's kind of hard to see, but it actually has the correct gold lining along the actual dome and whatnot. Well, that all being said, let's get into the actual sound and operation of the model. Alright, sitting up over here, you can see the track power is now applied to this is just a little oval. I'm still yet to get myself a proper model railroad, but I'm going to deal with that eventually. That's the least of my worries as of right now. Anyway. So, power's put to the track. I already have this thing programmed. When you first get the locomotive, as with all DCC locomotives, the address will be number 3, short address 3. That's the same for almost every single DCC decoder out there. I already have mine programmed, so that's why I have mine with the road numbers, the address already. And for those of you who have been long-time watchers of the channel, yes, I have an FEF2 numbered 832. Has it seen any service recently? No, because it is still in shambles. And I'm not the most sure what I am going to do about that. Most likely, I am I'm not sure if I want to get it repaired or not. Chances are I'm probably just going to sell it off because the thing is, it has so many problems. So, oh well. Nonetheless, this is the new 832 to the roster. The better one, nicer one, and the East Coast one. So, let's go over here. Hit function 9. Let's get into the sounds. You can see this, for those of you who know a good deal about Broadway Limited sound sets for their Paragon 3 Steam, you can probably notice this is actually a newer sound set to the Paragon 3 line. This kind of caught me off guard when I first heard it. I was like, oh, nice. Alrighty. Alright, let's go ahead move on to the sounds in operation. So after it finishes warming up here, you see it has a nice white LED. Alright, now that it's calmed down, you can hear the new idling sound and everything. It's actually pretty nice. Alrighty. So to begin with, let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and show the bell first. So that's the bell with it. And then here's the default whistle that comes with the locomotive. That's the default whistle with the locomotive. I would go through all the other functions, but I'd have to go to my computer to do that, since my computer is wired to this little oval here for JMRI usage. But besides this little oval being just linked straight to my PC, I had to get a new phone because I had my iPhone 5S stolen at one point. So due to that, I got a new phone. I got a Galaxy S10e, yay me. So now I can run Engine Driver on my primary phone, which is what I'm recording with right now, because the camera is absolutely stunning on this phone. But I have my old Galaxy S4 charging right now. If it would have been fully charged before I started recording, yeah, I would have used that for the JMI usage to display all the other sounds. But if you're really curious about the other sounds on the locomotive, just look up on the manual what they are. No, it'll tell you generally what it is. A lot of it's crew chatter and whatnot, but it's still really nice. Actually, I might be able to demonstrate one of them. Okay, that did not do what I thought. Give me a sec here, I'm trying to do this. Okay, that did not do what I thought it was going to do. Yeah, I don't remember actually, never mind, I take that back. I was about to say I don't remember the function numbers off the top of my head on what does what, but that's kind of a lie. I just remembered. But nonetheless, I can't do it from the NCE. I'd have to wait till either my other phone is fully charged, or I'd have to get up and leave my phone on the ground and man my PC, which I don't want to do because that's just bad. That's just a bad move. So that being said, I'm just going to get into the general operation of the locomotive. Now keep in mind, if you do notice that, here, let me just, it's going to mute that because that's very loud. If you notice that it's a little bit skittish with its movements, keep in mind, I just took this thing out of the box a little while ago. I haven't exactly broken it in much. So this is still very, very, very new. But nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead demonstrate slow speed performance at the same time. So again, if it seems jittery, keep in mind I haven't completely broken it in yet. Alright, going to go reverse. Speed step 1. Motor is very quiet as well. Speed step 2. 3. 4. 5. There. You can see, since this has Broadway Limited Paragon 3 decoder, built in it has Rule 17 lighting on it. There's no backup light as you saw in the locomotive, but that's actually prototypical, because most USRA Pacifics were not really fitted with a backup light, because what was the point? They didn't really back up much. Normally, you'd throw lanterns on the back of them. Anyway, to go ahead, start notching it up forward slowly. Alright, speed step 1. Speed step 2. Speed step 3. 4. 5. Okay. So I'm not exactly going to do a haulage test on this just yet, primarily because, again, it's not fully broken, and when you break in a model, you're not supposed to put loads behind them. So if there's another review of the new Heavy Pacifics, and I would reference that because they may have more information, I don't know. But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you loved seeing something that hasn't been done for the past, maybe, I could be wrong, correct me in the comments if I am wrong, but probably 60, 70 years since the old school River Rossi had done a Blue Comet. Because they had done a Blue Comet as a Pacific, but it wasn't as nice as this. It wasn't really prototypical. But nonetheless, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing the new locomotive. And I hope this helped if you are looking into getting one of these new Broadway Limited locomotives. I know I didn't really show the other 3 whistles, or the other 2 whistles, because these Broadway Limited locomotives, usually they have 3 different whistles to choose from. Again, I don't really want to be on my PC to do too much with these things. So I'm just going to leave that at that. But nonetheless, as I've said for the 50,000th time, thanks for watching. If you like this, look out or check out my other videos. I've done a lot of Trains Road Simulator stuff. That's what I primarily work with. I haven't touched model railroading in a long time, so it's nice to be able to, and it's nice that I finally have something I've been shooting for absolutely ages. And now I finally have it, and now the model railroading community in HO scale has a Jersey Central Blue Comet at their disposal that's actually being mass-produced. Is it the most accurate? Probably not. But it's still something. And I'm good with just that. Anyway, see you guys later.